Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we react to RWBY Volume 1, Chapter 8, Players and Pieces. As with my other RWBY reactions, this will not be in my typical Let's Watch format like with Let's Watch Death Battle, so if you would like to see what I'm reacting to, you're gonna have to do a little bit of work on your own. Yes, you will need to open the actual RWBY episode in another window, another tab, have it downloaded in, a media player of whatever you choose, but otherwise it's just going to be me sitting here in relative silence, so that's on you. Of course, though, if you'd like to get it prepared, this is the video that I will be using. It is from Rooster Teeth's YouTube channel under their RWBY playlist. It's just the episode, so yeah. Or if you'd rather not use this, then I'll have a link for the playlist in the description of this video, but you might as well use this one. So the last chapter was really short, as a lot of these chapters have been, which is my biggest pet peeve, and which I am sure I will continue to talk about, much to many of your dismay. However, I feel that it's kind of necessary to talk about some of this stuff, because if it is such a big issue, then you need to talk about it in order to make a change. I am aware that, this is Volume 1, and RWBY Volume 4 is coming out at the end of this month, so I'm sure by that point they have fixed it, but this just shows like how big of an issue it is and how good a thing it was of them to finally fix it whenever they did. Assuming that they did, I really hope that they fixed it, because it needs to be fixed. Otherwise, right now the episodes aren't episodes, but just like chunks of episodes, you know what I mean? Like chapter 4 is a part of an episode. It shouldn't be an episode all on its own. That's what I'm kind of getting at. So last time, RWBY and Weiss fought a little bit more. Pyrrha and Jean went into a cave, and then fought like a grim scorpion. A giant grim scorpion came out, and now RWBY is falling toward Yang and Blake. That's what the episode was. I summed it up in like 20 seconds. So that's what that was. So now to see where it goes from there. So with that said, let's get to watching. For the best synchronization, press play when I say play, and play. I mean, I do like the intro, so that's a positive. Wait, is that the first time I notice that Blake disappears after something moves in front of that branch? Is she that fast? Is she a ninja? I mean, I guess they all kind of are ninjas, in a way. Even if they are fighting with, like, spears or swords and shields or whatnot. RWBY. Also, I wonder if anyone else is going to touch on the fact that she uses a scythe to fight. Are you flying through the air? I don't know what was happening. She jumped from where? Well, I don't remember. I remember a single feather. I don't remember that mass of feathers. I'm a bear! Thought that was Nora. Oh, that's a sick way of thinking about living creatures. Was his name Ken? Was that his name? I'm gonna call him Ken for now. Is that why you got the rook? Ren, not Ken. Ren. You seemed much faster before! I figured someone was gonna do that. Why not Nora? Ursa, Deathstalker. Okay. I don't get it. Are you not used to this? That's what the world is, right? I mean, you can't really jump if you're hanging on. You do just let go. What's gonna happen? Just the fact that they're still falling. It's not good to have swords fall after you. That could be impaling. Yay! They have a very nice skull. Or exoskeleton? Exoskull. Oh! Those are very deadly feathers. I assume it was Weiss. Good. Alright. Normal knees. Okay, well that was good. That was good. Dilly dally shilly shally. I mean, he did say don't hesitate to, like, kill everything in the forest, didn't he? The headmaster, that is, but that's cool. I mean, I'm fine with them running. You said it, Ren. Ren Ken. Oh, her cloak always waves like that. Like, there doesn't have to be air circulating, that is. There's always air. How could she possibly be distracting? Your weapon's a grenade launcher. All right. Did they all make it? Okay, it looks like it attacked the part of the bridge they were actually... Oh, they didn't all make it across. If only we could jump really far, which has never been shown. Grenade launcher hammer. Which would be why people were suggesting she go against Amy Rose, yeah. In the death battle, that is. So is hers a whip gun blade? Yep, alright. See, they can super jump. They didn't need to break the bridge. They could have just jumped that, I'm pretty sure. RWBY coming up with a plan time? Yep. See, I'm gonna guess that all 4 of those people are a team now. And she's Captain America. That's a good use of, like, momentum and everything. So they're like fire shotguns then? So are we to assume then that RWBY explained her plan to the others? So that's a jumping spell? Je ne sais pas. Okay. I was gonna say, like, it's still not cutting it? Literally cutting it, you know. But it did. In the end, it did. Yep. That was a thing. Very much so. Okay, cool. Juniper! You're a leader! Yay! I mean, she did come up with the plan at the end, so. Why say it like that, sir? Aren't you proud? Aren't you happy? Is the moon in pieces? Where are we now? You upset? You want to talk about it? You want to smoke your problems away. Yeah, dust. I think, right? That's it. Yeah, dust. I mean, Beacon is circled there. Do you see that? See Beacon circled? That's their school, guys. Okay, good. Well, I have good news for you guys. Once the credits end here, I will talk about this episode, and I won't talk as much about what I usually have talked about. So, this is good. This is good for people. I'm just checking something real quick to confirm something. Okay. So yes, the credits are over. Time to talk about this episode. I think that, for me at least, this was the best episode so far. This is, again, the 8th episode, or Chapter 8, and I think that it is the best. And I just checked, and I want to say that it is the longest episode so far. The first episode, which I thought might compete with it, is about 12 minutes, 50 seconds, I think. And this episode was 13 minutes and 45 seconds, so it wasn't too much longer, about a minute longer, I think, than the first one. But still, I think that the length of it showed. Overall, I think that this was the best episode because, it gave us an entertaining fight. It gave us good character interaction and development between, RWBY and Juniper, and, showing how the groups all kind of got together and worked together, and we get to see their synergy between their skills and their combat styles and everything. We get to see, some of the chemistry between the characters too, not in a romantic way necessarily, but just in a way of, casual relationship and working together as a team, sort of, that kind of team building way. And it was good. We got to see them pick the artifacts, which actually, I guess, determined which team they went on, because as we saw, we know Yang picked the knight, and then we see RWBY pick the knight afterward, whereas, Jean picked the rook, and so I think that was how they determined the teams, was which artifact they chose. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he even said during the bit at the end, you chose this, and therefore you will be blah. So I think that was how it was done, which is kind of an arbitrary way to do it, because that's really just which piece catches your eye the most, but, I think that's how they did it, and that works for me. Then we get to see them fight the Grim Beast at the end, and actually get to see how tough the Grim Beasts apparently are, because again, even with all of that force behind RWBY's attack, it was only at the very end when it finally cut through the thing's neck, or how, she slammed it down on the Scorpion, which I forget what it was called, a death something, right? I don't know. And it didn't really phase it even, so, there was that. So this episode, like I said, was the best. There were definitely a lot of good things going for it. If I had to complain about some things, which I will now, I don't have to, but I will. I think that they could have done a better job with, Ruby's, Ruby Rose's, the characters, interaction with Weiss, how it felt to me very quick and forced a little bit, where, mostly quick, a little bit forced. Where, RWBY runs forward to handle the Scorpion thing, and then, Weiss has to save her, which was good, but what it should have been after that was Weiss just kind of carries on, maybe mutters another insult or something like that, but it shouldn't have been at that point where she, apologized and talked about them working together. No, I think what it should have been is that moment, and then seeing RWBY's, brilliance with the strategy, the plan that she came up with, and then once they were all assigned to the same team, then Weiss would apologize and everything. I think that would have made for much better timing with the character development there, given their interactions. I think that doing it just right after RWBY has that run-in with the Scorpion, right after Weiss saves her, I felt like that just wasn't the right time for it. It could have been better executed, and I think it would have been better either right after the big bird died, or again during the team ceremony kind of thing. So it was, it's unfortunate that they didn't do it that way, because I feel that would have been a lot better than the way they had it, but it wasn't terrible the way they had it, It just could have been a lot better, in my opinion. What else was there? Oh yeah, just at the beginning too, a lot of the little jokes this time fell a little flat, unfortunately. I guess where once they all started saying each other's names, I knew that someone was gonna jump up with their own thing, like Donkey, SpongeBob, things like that. I list those two because of two other examples of when characters did that. So, unfortunately, just because I saw it coming so much, and because I'd seen it, a number of times before, it wasn't really funny for me, because it wasn't clever or creative, and again, just the fact that I could see it coming. The others maybe a little less likely, but I don't know. And then when Jean caught Weiss, sure, Jean was acting a little more, high and mighty than he should have, but he still did technically save Weiss from falling, So I felt that she should have appreciated him a little bit more for that, instead of, them going for the comedic angle of him just completely failing at it, because he did catch her, he did break her fall, so that was all good on his part, you know? This next bit could be on me, but I saw the feather in the previous chapter, but I didn't see the bird. I didn't notice that got taken away. At least not that I recall. Maybe I was already focusing on some other aspect and just completely missed something that was obvious, but I didn't realize that's what was happening. And when, we just see them at the beginning of this chapter, Ruby and Weiss shouting with the rush of feathers, for all I knew, I thought that was like a transportation spell, And so it just kind of came out of nowhere for me, which isn't entirely terrible, but it's just like, oh, all right, this is happening now, and the bird's going to be such a prominent thing that it was weird that its introduction wasn't as prominent, at least to me. So, I don't know. But yeah, this was my favorite episode so far. I hope that other episodes in the future will be like this, because it wasn't like this was an amazing episode, like compared to other amazing episodes from different anime or just different shows in general, but just, compared to the other RWBY episodes so far, the other RWBY chapters, this was a really good one because it was much more complete. Not just because it had combat, but because it had, character development, or character interaction and development, the plot progression, where it jumped, from multiple different settings and perspectives. Like, at the end, too, we got to see the bad guy again and got to see his map on the screen, or on his plan on the map, rather, is what I meant. That kind of thing. And so it just had a lot more of the elements that I feel are more necessary for a good episode compared to all the other shorter chapters, which just didn't include them, or didn't have the time to include them, you can argue, but in that case, don't make them so short, But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this in the comments, whether you liked it, disliked it, what you think makes for a good episode, etc., etc. Again, please do not spoil things for me, for I would like to approach the rest of the series, with, no expectations and nothing ruined for me, you know what I mean? So yeah, just be cool and we'll be cool. But with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!